We'd love to please welcome the director of the film, Savi Gabizon. And please welcome Neta Riskin, actress from the film. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you both so much for being here. Thank you for this beautiful film. We'll make it quick, folks, but please, if you're leaving, clear the way. I want to start with what inspired this? Where did this come from?
First, sorry for my bad English, but I think you will understand me. There were 2 points that begin all this story. The first one was my girlfriend came back from Singapore and she told me about a wedding like this. They really do it. So I thought if I will succeed to create the circumstances, to create a story, that wedding like this could take a place in a Western society, it might be interesting. So this is the first one. The second one was that my son, plays football. And I notice that while I'm sitting in the bleachers, on the bleachers, I don't know, watching him play, each time he got the ball, I notice that my leg is moving a little, in a few millimeters. So I think this whole story begins in those few millimeters.
Wow, that's...
Never heard, first time I heard that part.
I have many more.
Neta, where did you come into this? Clearly, you didn't know the whole story, but playing that part and the mood of the film. I mean, you had a real challenge here because it's as we said, a very sad comedy.
Today, someone asked you why are all Israeli movies are neo-realistic and depressing. So, yeah, that was kind of funny movie.
Somewhat neorealistic, though. Yeah. So the tone of it, like, how did you approach the tone? I mean, so you never know if to laugh or to cry.
But first of all, I have a short story to tell. When I was today. We had a panel and you asked me about the new Israeli cinema, okay? When I was 14, he made a movie called Shuru, which I think was the Yeriat Pticha, I don't know, yeah?
Opening shot.
Opening shot of the new Israeli cinema. It was a big thing. I was it wasn't even high school, okay? And I went to see it on Friday night. It was a fully packed cinema, and that was very shocking because no one hardly saw any Israeli movies. And I remember seeing it, I was so excited, and I said, one day I'm going to work with him. Now, I didn't really mean I'm going to do it, but I said it. But then when I got it, I was so excited because it was sort of a childhood dream that came true. So he has a language. Everyone in Israel knows this language. It's crazy language, which is always it takes the most unexpected turns. Nothing is expected. Everything that is supposed, he challenges you. I mean, this is a very, very sad movie, and you were all laughing. It's about two dead children. Who's laughing about it? It's crazy. Okay, so
You're all fired.
So, and he always challenges your more morality, what you think about yourself. You react in an unexpected way. So, of course, when I read it, it was a very typical Savi writing, okay? And I was very honored to be part of it.
That explained a lot. So when you're approaching this, when you're approaching a topic, as Neta said, is you're dealing with one of the saddest topics possible, and writing a story, whether we're calling it a comedy or not, it's a comedy, but there's a story there, and you're approaching these people. What are your hopes that your audience will take from this?
About the comedy, I have things to say. Usually, when you have drama and comedy together, it usually begin as a comedy, and slowly, it becomes a drama. Okay, here it little bit different. It begins as a drama, and become a comedy. It's more difficult. It's more difficult. It needs more. The audience have to be more active in this kind of a story, and you survive it. So it's good.
I heard them laughing a lot.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely saw that. But what do you want them to take back from this? A slice of life, of just a beautiful story. Do you have a hope?
I think it's a story about fatherhood, and you can take it whatever you want, but it's about it. Yeah, I don't think either. I explain them all the time. Yeah. I think they are all very usual people. And she said,
he kept telling us, because, okay, we just want to say
Continue.
something. First of all, he had a nickname, which was Obsessavi, because he's obsessive as his characters are, not only one character. And we had a lot of scenes in which we just started laughing at one point, because it is really a crazy movie. And he used to tell us, it's a very regular movie about regular people. And yeah.
And you get that tone, and that's part of what works about it, is that everybody's acting so normally about
everything. And not only that, they're very polite to each other, and they just keep asking, why are you talking to me like this? I really can't understand why.
But when you're making a film and you're thinking about an audience that's going to go to a film about death of a child, you start to think about mortality a little bit, and you start to think about your love of your children, and in the hardest ways, and it's really demanding a lot from your audience. It's saying to your audience, I'm going to ask you not only to laugh, but also to think about these tough topics, and is this maybe the way to approach these tough topics? Are you opening a door here?
Maybe. I think for me is not only for me. I think it's more easy to make you laugh in a funeral than in a mask party. I mean, in a funeral, it's so funeral. Okay, because every little move you make in a funeral, it can be funny, and in a mask party you had to do such a move to make people laugh. So sorry for my English, but I can, as ככל שהמעמד, she is also English teacher. ככל שהמעמד הוא חמור יותר, תובעני יותר, ככה קל יותר להצחיק בו.
If it's more dark and more deep, then it's easier to make the audience laugh.
Demanding, yeah.
Yeah, please.
I think what Savi says, that it's about parenthood, I think the audience goes through the same route that the father in the movie goes. I mean, when I read it, it was like a blank paper put into a this sort of a black room, dark room, liquids, and you get this whole character of the kid. Suddenly he has colors. He's not one dimensional. It's not only a photo. He is good and he's bad and he's disgusting and he's charming and he's talented and he's an asshole and he's all those things, all these traits together. And the father has to, it's not just an idea of a child, it's a real person, and the father loves him no matter what. And also I think the audience, I mean, you've seen this child only in one scene, and it really feels that this character exists throughout the movie. I mean, there is a character of a child, although you never hardly see it. And you learn to love it, and you walk with it, and you learn to accept it, and to parent it, just like the main character does.
And I found that while writing that, as bad as the child, as flourish, you said? Flourish is the fatherhood or the father?
Fatherhood flourishes.
Yes, yes, yes.
It becomes protective,
yeah.
And that's a beautiful transition that Shai Avivi's character goes throughout the film. I mean, from someone who didn't know, obviously, and getting closer to a point where he's completely connected to this boy with true love. It's beautiful. Yeah.
I have one more thing, because I
Keep
really
going,
love this
keep going,
movie. So
yeah.
I can talk about it for hours. But another thing that I really loved about it when I first read it was that this movie begins where most other movies would end. I mean, usually it's about you would end with the kid with the loss, okay, with the loss of a child, with the רגע של ההחמצה, okay.
The moment of loss.
Yeah, the moment of loss. And this movie begins where usually movies end. I mean, it begins with the moment of loss, and then it starts, and it's very special. I don't know any movies who begin from the ending point.
It's definitely unique and takes you in an unpredictable path that I think I've not seen much in cinema as far as storytelling. It also, what I was going for is it does allow an audience to open the door into that moment after.
Yeah.
That moment after that we try to avoid. We don't want to, usually, the dramatic moment, oh, he died, and that's,
Yeah, and
or he found out, and that's it.
And that's it.
But this allows our audience to kind of think about what was missing, and for me, it makes me appreciate
That's
life
the
much
moment
more.
after.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, thank you. I'd love to take some questions, comments, thoughts. Keep them short from the audience. Thank you.
I
We got one
also
over here.
found in Israel,
Sorry.
I thought-
the relationship between Ronit and Eli and the other man that she had dated was unusual, because the husband, Eli, was not jealous of this man suddenly interpolating himself in the middle of their life. And he was very moderate and very thoughtful, and everybody was fine. Everybody was copacetic with this bizarre a sudden emergence of a man, and the reality of the son suddenly emerging again alive. I thought that was very atypical and very interesting. Also, what was interesting is that you evoked from the audience permission to laugh when they thought, wait a minute, this is a tragedy. What are we doing laughing? And we had to be evoked to laugh constantly, which was persuading us little by little to do so. Something a bit talented of you to do that.
Thank you.
I thought the story was seamless and beautiful, and I thought, I'm not a parent, but I thought you had just reversed the grieving process, which I thought was beautiful at the end. Instead of crying tears of, loss, they were crying tears of joy because they were getting married. The only thing I thought was strange when I thought the movie was almost a scam when the boy was asking for the $8,000 and then the mother had lupus, and I thought, wow, this is going to be like the ultimate sting or something, when someone turns the whole story around, where that it's not what you think it is. I don't know if you were thinking of that when...
Of course, I built it in this way. I think one of the strengths of this story is that you don't know where you're going to. So you surprise, you get surprised each. So it is built this way. It's one of the weakness of the story also, because usually you want to know where are you going to, but it's challenging the audience also. Yeah.
That one over here.
Thank you very much.
Just wait for the microphone.
Great movie. You know, to me, it seems like although it was about two children that died, it was more about Ariel coming alive. And he seemed to be dead at the beginning, and then he became alive. And to me, that was like the deeper meaning behind it, that through a death, there was something else unleashed in him. And it was very beautiful. Can you speak about your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think this is the specific journey of this character. He is a lonely guy, very cold one, that called his lawyer when he heard he have a son, and at the end of the story, he agreed to give everything he have only for the grandson. So this is the exact journey of him. Yeah, it's from cold to hot, and
Gave him a sense of meaning, I think. Yeah? That's the reason
Yeah.
he wakes up to life.
yes, please.
We have over here.
Here.
More of a comment, but
Sorry. There's a microphone behind you.
Yeah.
No. You were first, sir. Sorry.
I was just thinking of Isaac Bashevis Singer and Gabriel Marquez, right? And just that in their writing there are a lot of worlds, but somehow they're all connected.
I love him, but maybe not indirectly, which I know, not in the directly way, but yeah, he influenced me, of course. This is your question, yeah? Yeah. I'm sure one of,
And I see that in your other work too.
yeah,
Yeah. You've been influenced.
yeah.
I wanted to ask about the process of writing and the confidence in how surreal the story is, because I would
It's
think
surreal.
that-
It's normal.
I know, but I feel that if I were to read the script, I would think to myself, you know, this is too out there, and it might, you know, people might just ridicule the twists and turns, and you know, I don't buy it. And then you're the writer and the director, and I'm sure you were in the editing room as well, right?
Sure.
Okay. So the confidence to get it to be what it is,
Yeah.
you know?
I think is the way to write is to produce very, for me, okay, very extreme moment, absurd moment, and to pay attention while I'm directing and while I'm writing it. Pay attention, very good, that everything will be realistic. So when you write the extreme, and when you direct, you put it close to earth. This is the way of doing it, and making it real. Although the moments are very little bit unreal, or the characters are a little bit extreme also. So this is, you have something to...
No, when he directed us, he would say, and we would come and ask. We were really laughing, because he also has a tendency, you know, a scene has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and we used to. He writes scenes in which it ends and then it starts all again. It just starts another 2-3 pages, and they don't stop. And then we used to laugh a lot, and he would say, just do it as normal people. It's just very, very normal. And we started laughing about it. And when we asked him how to play it, and he said, just normal. Nothing happens. It's just very, very normal.
Yeah, because usually stories, it's about normal people in not normal situation. Okay, this is the right nuskha,
Formula.
formal. Okay.
Formula. We have time. We have time for two last questions. We can take one here and one there. Okay.
How are you? By the way, it's a beautiful, beautiful film.
Thanks you.
I think we all agree that it's all in the story, but you need the story to be well told. And in your direction, cinematography, and your direction of your actors, I think you pulled a beautiful production.
Thank you.
It's, as I think someone said behind me, there was a twist where maybe if it were me and I turned around and I said, as soon as no one showed up at the cemetery, I said, well, I'm leaving town. This is, and then the money, the drug issue, that would give me another reason. But had I stopped reading or watching the story, then I would not have seen the outcome and the love of the father for Adam. And so it's a well told through your direction, and I really compliment you.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to say something about the story. Many people which saw the film ask me, or read the script actually, ask me why you didn't continue with the teacher. I mean, we want love stories, and we want it will continue, but it is. No, I thought it's a story about fatherhood and not about love. So I give up. I vitality gave up about
yeah.
this move. Just saying.
We'll take one last question over there.
I just want to say the movie is beautiful.
Please use the mic, ma'am. We can't hear you.
One thing I have to say, throughout the movie, I couldn't help but think that I'm sure that people that lost children, young children, would go home and think about it. I know you say it's crazy and all this, it's not. I think so. Because I'm sure that people that want to see what happened to the children, how far they could see them, this will create a thought.
I'm not sure I'm on the...
שיתחילו לחתן, כאילו ילדים.
לא לחתן בדיוק, but לחשוב על כיוון של...
I think, I think the phenomena of continuing making things around your dead boy is very, understood. So, and I use it in the story, and the only thing that I have to do while I'm writing and directing is to be responsible and trying not to hurt people. But I'm sure people get hurt. I hope not much. No, I hope not.
I think more importantly, actually, there's for all people who did not lose children, there's also a moment of saying, wait, here's something that we can pay attention to while we still have this, while before the absurdity of losing a child, which is, so there's no way to put it into words, that it allows us to appreciate the normality of our lives for a moment.
Yeah, maybe.
I want to thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for a beautiful film, Savi. I think it really captures the power of cinema today in such an authentic and true way. Despite all of the fantasy, it is so true, and a beautiful film. Thank you. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. We hope to see you tomorrow at some screenings.
סיפור קטן.